Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello. Oh, I only got 5% on my phone. Shoot, I need to get my charger. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to my live. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Raymond. Thanks so much for coming into my live. My name is Monika. I'm a clinical social worker and a social work marketing mentor. And I help social workers design careers that they love and monetize what they know. Hey, thanks so much for joining the live. I hope you all are having a great evening. Good evening. I spilled some stuff on my jumper. I hope you all are having a great evening. So, just wanted to hop on to touch base. I have a lot of new followers from the videos that I've been posting recently, and I know that I've been talking a lot about mentorship and designing a career that you love. And if you're a social worker or a therapist, if you are a social worker or therapist, if you don't mind sharing out the live, just letting other social workers know that we're live in the room. So I'm going to be answering any questions that you all have about mentorship, where you are in your career. So I know a lot of times when I come on live, I talk a lot about digital products and how you can begin creating digital products to monetize what you know using your social work skills. And encouraging you all to know that you can do this with or without a license. So a lot of times we, as social workers, unfortunately, we get in our own way. And sometimes we count ourselves out. I notice that we do that a lot as social workers. And I don't want you to think that the things that you want aren't for you. That's been a lot of the videos that I've been making recently, is just trying to instill that same level of self-belief within you that we instill into our clients. So if you know that you've had an idea of things that you're wanting to do, maybe you know that mentorship is something that you should be pursuing right now so that you can make a lot more momentum on your goals. If you all have any questions that you want to ask about mentorship, entrepreneurship, building a business online, you could put your questions below and then I'll answer any questions that you have. So I had a call, I had a call this evening with someone who was in my mentorship program. And her goal is to move out of medical social work, which is currently where she's working, and then she's wanting to transition into project management or program management. So we talked through optimizing her LinkedIn profile, her job search strategy. So we were able to identify some gaps, like some things that she wasn't currently doing, to begin to position herself as a top candidate when she starts applying for roles. So we put a plan together for her that she can do over the next 12 weeks. So if any of you have been following me, you know that I use a 12-week year model. Hey, LaKenya, thanks so much for coming into the live. I'm so proud of you, by the way, all the content you've been posting. I've been seeing you making more videos. I'm so excited and happy for you. And your followers are growing, going up. So I'm super excited. If none of you are following LaKenya, the People Social Worker, and you know that you have some mental blocks and mental barriers, she is an empowerment coach, and she helps you break those mental chains within your life that maybe you've taken on some of those things from. Oh, thank you for the daily heart me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe you've taken on some old trauma or narratives from people in your life who have built a story about how you should show up, what you deserve or what you don't, and maybe you've internalized a lot of those stories. So she's an empowerment coach that helps you really work through all of those mental challenges and to help rewrite your story, rewrite your own personal story by building a new legacy, practicing gratitude, which is something that I'm a huge advocate for. So if you're not following her, make sure you're following the People Social Worker. And again, she's an empowerment coach. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for joining the live. I think it's Kaya. Hi, Kaya. Thanks so much for joining the live. So I just wanted to come on here, answer any questions that you all might have about mentorship, about starting or growing a business, creating digital products. If you're, thanks so much for the hearts, everybody. I appreciate that. If you all can share out the live, let other social workers and therapists know. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate that. Let everyone know that I'm live. Ask any questions that you have about navigating your social work career, starting into entrepreneurship. That was one of the other things that I talked to my mentee about inside of my mentorship program. She wants to start her own 501c3, so her own nonprofit organization. So we talked through that because that's actually what I did when I transitioned out of my not transition out of my 9-to-5, but when I started creating a business for myself. So I talk about the 3 stages of professionalism: the career phase, the scaffolding phase, and the social work CEO phase. The career phase is when you're working your 9-to-5. Scaffolding phase is when you're working your 9-to-5, but then you start building a business on the side so you can bring in some additional income. So when I went from the career phase to the scaffolding phase, I started a consulting company, and I made a video about that. And what I did with my consulting company is I helped organizations to apply for their 501c3 tax exempt status, and I did all of their paperwork for them so that they could get approved with the Secretary of State and with the IRS so that they can operate their nonprofit. So I talked with her about that, and a part of the mentorship program, she gets access to all of the forms and all the documents that I used to use as a consultant. So when she's ready to build her business, she'll have all the forms and everything that she'll need, plus my guidance as she's building out her board of directors, her budget for her nonprofit, seeking funding opportunities, having her sponsorship letters, like all the things. So I'm super excited for her. So I just wanted to take this time to see if any of you had any questions. If you have questions about a nonprofit, you can ask those as well. My name again is Monika Thomas. I'm a clinical social worker and a social work marketing mentor, and I help social workers design careers that they love and monetize what they know. So if any of you have any questions about building your business, nonprofit, organization, or where you are in your career, interview strategy. So I have a YouTube channel. This is just me on TikTok, is just me trying a different platform. My main platform is YouTube. Like, that's where I live. That's where I am. That's where I've built the bulk of my community, is over on YouTube, and that's where I have my longer form content. So if you all do need interview suggestions or strategies, how to answer specific questions, you can find that over on my YouTube channel. But I just wanted to come on here today. I always try to set a time. I'll probably be on live till about 10 or 10:30. Just answering any questions that you have about career planning, navigating your social work career, decisions that you need to make within your career, how to start a business, some fears you might be experiencing transitioning from the career phase to the scaffolding phase, how to create digital products, anything you want to ask me. I just wanted to be here to answer any questions that any of you might have. So one of the things that I oftentimes like to mention when I'm talking to social workers about mentorship, and I had an earlier conversation about this with another social worker. I was actually on the Social Work Rants podcast today. So are any of you familiar with the Social Work Rants podcast? So I did an interview today, so that should hopefully be live on Friday, and then I'll be putting some clips on TikTok so you all can see that. But we talked about all things digital products, building your business online, the difference between kind of having a traditional business versus building an online business. So we talked a lot about that. Thanks so much for joining my live. I appreciate you being here. So we talked about how I built my online business and how I use my YouTube channel and my digital products to begin reducing my caseload in my private practice. So when I started making digital products and the reimbursement that I was getting for visits, so I was primarily taking I primarily take insurance in my private practice. I don't have a private pay. And I know a lot of people talk a lot about having a private pay practice, and that's a personal decision, whether or not you want to be private pay or if you want to take insurance. I knew for me, I had to build a practice that was in alignment with my values, and one of my values is community. I believe that especially for the Black community, I believe that the foundation of who we are as a people. And what we need is to exist within community. And I think that we thrive when we have strong communities that support us. And traditionally, mental health has not been something that we've traditionally talked about, that has been a norm within our community. So I knew that when I started my practice, I wanted to stay providing, again, this is me, my personal values, my personal beliefs. I wanted to stay within the community that rooted me and grounded me as I was developing. So I stayed in the same neighborhood where I grew up. I serviced the same clientele that would have been my neighbors had I, stayed in that neighborhood. I worked with the same families who, when I was a school social worker, that I was servicing those same families. So when I transitioned into my private practice, families who were working with me in community mental health, they could easily transition with me and still continue to work with me within my private practice. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So you really have to build your business in a way that fits you. You can absolutely build a 6-figure private practice taking insurance. You can build a solo practice taking insurance. One of the things I did before I actually started my private practice is I looked up a blog. Like, I typed into Google, how do you make 6 figures as a social worker in private practice? And a blog post came up. I printed it out and I followed everything it told me to do to a T. And it told me the difference between like making $100,000 on paper versus making $100,000 in your actual bank account, and all the things that you have to deduct and consider for you to be able to still make $100,000 after you take all of your deductions and pay for all your software and all your systems. Because after you take all of those things out, you still have to see more clients to make up for all of those deductions. So that's how I was able to hit my goals. And then also, with me being one of the only African-American female therapists within my community, I got a ton of referrals. So this was pre-COVID. So things have changed now. A lot of social workers are going into private practice. I think that's amazing. But that's how I started when I transitioned from doing work within a 9-to-5. I started a consulting company that helped me get into the scaffolding phase, where I kind of got a taste of entrepreneurship. And then from the scaffolding phase is when I transitioned to the social work CEO phase. And then I was solely working within my private practice. So that same path that I teach social workers inside of my mentorship program, that's the path that I took to be able to get into entrepreneurship. So I don't really promote like quitting your job, stepping out on faith. I promote doing it scared. Like, I believe if you want to build a business, you should absolutely do it scared and not let your fears hold you back. But I don't believe jumping out there without a plan, or not having your business that can help fund your practice, or whatever your nonprofit or whatever your private practice venture or entrepreneurship venture is. So that's how I got started. So I said I was going to be doing a live because it is August and all of my school social workers are going back to school. So I'm super excited. I've been wearing my headband for 2 days in honor of school social work. So I got my little apples and my pencil and some little pearls on here. So that was the work that I was doing before I transition into private practice. Well, I still did school social work when I was working in my practice. Oh, thank you. So I thought it was the cutest. Like, oh, look at the little apples. And I love teachers, love school social work. So I was like, let me get this little headband in honor of school social work, school social workers going back and starting their school year. So that's where I started, was being a school social worker. I absolutely loved it. Like, that was one of my favorite roles that I did using my social work degree. So I know August is that time. You're going back, getting your office set up, contacting your families, getting your caseload. So I did say that I wanted to do a live specifically dedicated for school social workers, just to talk about transitioning into the school year, how to set boundaries with teachers, how to plan for a successful school year. So I'll probably do that tomorrow or another day this week. So yeah, I just wanted to again come on here, reset the room. My name is Monika. I'm a clinical social worker. I help social workers design careers that they love and monetize what they know. I help them monetize through creating digital products that they can sell on autopilot using the knowledge that they already know. So this is something that you can do without a license, without going back to school. I teach you how to leverage your own knowledge so that you can start creating some income using your social work skill sets. So that's what I do. And earlier I mentioned I was on the Social Work Rants podcast, and we were talking about how social workers are really struggling to pass the licensure exam. I think Bass had mentioned that one social worker he knew took the test 10 times and still didn't pass. So I know how discouraging that could be for social workers. That wasn't the case for me. I always encourage social workers because I'm in Ohio, and one of the things that we offered in Ohio, in Ohio is an advanced generalist certification. So I'm an LISW, licensed independent social worker. So we have a clinical exam, but we also have an advanced generalist exam. So I don't even think I took the clinical exam. I just took the advanced generalist, which is like that generalist social work exam, but it just asks more master's level social work questions, but it's not clinical questions about diagnosis, about medication, none of those things. It was a little bit about like personality disorder. What else was on there? I can't think. Was it like this? I can't think of exactly. It was so long ago, but it wasn't like how therapists and social workers are struggling with the clinical exam now. Like I didn't go through all that. I just took the advanced journalist exam, and then I took individual courses on my own to build up my clinical skills after I passed the exam. So I really wish other states would offer the advanced generalist because it would be so much easier. But I know social workers, it's a lot of conversation about the test being biased, and are you able to bill in private practice? Yeah, absolutely. I bill insurance companies. I bill Medicaid for the clients that I see. Oh, that's what I was talking about before when I was talking about me making the digital products. Thanks for that. So I was saying that when I see my clients, I'm not seeing private pay, so it's all insurance based. So my reimbursement for Medicaid is like $81.99 per client. So I knew that if I was able to make that amount or more within my business, or when I was creating my digital products, or by leveraging my YouTube channel and the income that I get every month for YouTube, then I could reduce my client caseload as long as I could cover that $81.99 per hour. That means that's one less client that I have to see. So I just kind of did the math. And the thing about YouTube is whether I post a YouTube video or not, because I know how to optimize my YouTube channel, I get a check from YouTube every single month, like regardless if I post. I actually lost my channel on YouTube for like a month. And then once I got the channel back, like the payments started immediately after that. And yeah, that's another thing that I use for residual income. I'm actually about to change my strategy a little bit for my YouTube channel because I want to increase the amount of money that I'm getting from my channel. So that's what I'm going to be working on from now to the end of this year. I have a target, an income goal that I want to get passively from my YouTube channel. So I'm going to be working towards that. So TikTok is just something I just come over here and do for fun because it's not a lot of tech, not a lot of like recording and editing and things having to be a certain way, like how I record my YouTube videos. I got things popping up on the screen and B-roll and all of that. So TikTok is just so much more easier and so much more fun. So I just kind of come here to have fun and just to connect with social workers, but I primarily use YouTube for the income portion. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyone have any questions? If anyone has questions about YouTube, I'll be glad to answer questions about that, about your career planning, creating digital products, monetizing what you know, meaning how to make money from the knowledge and expertise that you already have, ideas for a digital product. So you all can let me know if you have any questions. I just wanted to come on because I had a really good day today. I really enjoyed talking on the podcast earlier. YouTube, I might need to consider. Yeah, I'm huge advocate for YouTube. Now, I know a lot of social workers, for whatever reason, just kind of hop on YouTube without a strategy. I don't recommend that. Like, if you're going to get on YouTube, then do it right from the beginning. Don't just kind of throw videos up and then your views, you only get like 2 views or 5 views. Now, I'm not saying you got to get thousands of views. I think that's ideal if you want to make the income. Then you have to be in the thousands, hundred thousands of views, and then make sure that you have the right niche for your videos. The tech part is scary. Oh, it's actually not a lot of tech for YouTube. I'm curious, what all tech do you think you need for your YouTube videos? What does doing it right look like? I'm curious, what do you think you need to do it right? And then I can tell you what you actually need. Because I'm wondering if you think you need to have a $600,000 Canon camera editing. When I first started, I was doing my editing on my own. I was using iMovie to edit the videos. So I kept the videos around 8 minutes. That's edited. So for an unedited video, it probably would be maybe 12 to 15 minutes unedited. And I just record in sections. So I don't record the entire video. I'll record a little section, pause, record another section, pause, and then I'll have notes that I'm reading to cover my points. And then I'll record all the sections, and then I put all those together in iMovie. And then I use Canva to create my on-screen graphics or to add in B-roll for the video. And then I will go to Fiverr, find someone. Are you familiar with Fiverr? If you go to Fiverr, you can find someone who can help you with the edits. I use that too. So I had someone who was editing my videos for me. So I would just take all the clips that I had recorded, put all of those in a Dropbox file, and then share the Dropbox file to a designer on Fiverr. And then they would edit for me. But before I started doing that, I was using iMovie and Canva for the on-screen edits. Yeah, so it's not a lot. So really all you need to get set up. So I tried to use a camera. I had a Canon, is it T? I can't even think of it. It was so long ago. But I tried to use it, but it was just too much. Like, I'm not about to be fumbling around with shutter speed and all of these features and color grading and all that. So I, up to this day, still use my webcam to record my YouTube videos. The quality is good enough. Like, I'm not some full out production, you know, trying to record the videos. So I record all of my videos on my laptop, and then I use a webcam, and then 2 box lights. I have, well, 1 box light and then 1 ring light. And I have my ring light up now, so I'll use that. And then I'll just, like I said, record it in sections, upload it to Dropbox. I don't edit it myself anymore, but I have a couple editors. And then I batch record. So I'll pick a day of the week. I'll record like 6 videos in one sitting. And then I have multiple editors that I use. So then some people get done quicker than others. Then after they send you the first draft, sometimes you have to send it back. So while one editor is working on the video, it could be getting finished with a different one. So I have about 5 editors that I use on Fiverr. Webcam on your laptop? No, let me show you. It's just a Logitech webcam. So I have this, and then I have one other one. But this is what I've been using for my YouTube video since I started in 2018. And this gives you a lot clearer picture than the camera on your laptop. But it's like the most recent videos that I have, even my older videos, I use the same Logitech webcam. And then I have, like I said, a bigger one. But yeah, that's all I use. And having success on YouTube is really not what people think. Like, your videos do have to be good quality. Don't get me wrong. But it's more of the content that people are looking for. SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. I do SEO on every single video. So as long as you know how to optimize your videos, your titles, and your thumbnails, you're good to go on YouTube. And even like I said, when I lost my channel and I stopped posting, my channel still continued to grow. Because the good thing about me making social work content is I'm getting access to a new batch of social workers who are graduating every single year. They're graduating their bachelor's program, they're graduating their master's program, they're going into a doctoral program, and they're always searching for something at every stage of their career. So what I do is I use Google to find and identify the search terms that they're looking up on Google, and then that's how I create the titles for my videos. So it takes some work for sure, but there are tools out there that can help you come up with good titles. So one of the tools I use is called TubeBuddy, and that helps me do what they call A/B testing for your thumbnail. So you could look at different ones and it tests out which thumbnail is going to perform the best, and then it'll help you with your keywords to see how your keywords will rank based off the video. So how do you look them up? The keywords? If that's what you mean. So I look up the keywords through TubeBuddy, which is a software that you buy that kind of connects to your YouTube channel, what people are looking up. So you know when you go on Google and it's two tools. So you know how when you go on Google and then you start typing in how to manage, and then it'll start saying time, anxiety, people, like it'll start suggesting terms before you even finish the sentence. That's YouTube's algorithm and SEO capabilities helping you know what people are searching for. So all of those terms that come up, like how to manage anxiety, how to manage people, how to manage a team, that means Google is showing you that stuff because people have already gone into the search and started typing up those words. So what I'll do is I'll start typing how social work interview questions, and then Google will finish it for me. So then that'll let me know people are searching for this topic because it's coming up when I'm searching on Google. And then after you type in the full word, when you scroll down, Google gives you suggested topics. So then I'll just take those suggested topics and then I'll create videos around those too. And then I'll go into, I'll save that for another time. But one of the other things that I do is I use a software called Answer the Public. So that is, it's free. It only gives you so many searches, but it's Answer the Public. And it's a service, it's a software by Neil Patel. He's a super famous marketer, and you go into his software and you start typing in your keywords. So there's something called long tail keywords and short tail keywords. So a long tail keyword is how to manage your anxiety, because that phrase is long and someone's looking for that particular phrase. Short tail keyword is like 1 or 2 words. So if you're just searching for the word anxiety. So with Answer the Public, you can go into the platform. It's an amazing, amazing platform. So when you go into Answer the Public, you can type in how to manage anxiety, and it'll give you like a web of all the words that people are searching for. It'll give you the who of what people are searching for, like who struggles with anxiety, when is the best time to seek treatment for anxiety, why is anxiety important. So it gives you the who, what, why of all the search that's happening on Google, and then that gives you suggestions as well. I've heard of that. Oh, perfect. So that's another place where I go to get ideas for YouTube videos. And then YouTube, when you go into YouTube, I don't know if you all know this, but YouTube is the second largest search engine out after Google. So people think that YouTube is a social media platform like Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, but it's not. It's a search engine. So also when people are going into Google into YouTube and typing in how to build a house, how to start my zero-based budget, any of that how-to content, how to land my first interview, how to find the best graduate school for a mental health therapist, that is giving you search terms that people are going into YouTube and searching for. So then I use just the intuitive features on YouTube to search for YouTube video titles. So those are the major things that I use to come up with my titles. And then when you put your titles together, you want to look up videos that have already been successful. So there's features inside of YouTube where you can search like the most relevant or most recent video, or the video that got the most views. And sometimes the video that got the most views is probably like 7 years old. So if you have a video that has a lot of views but it's old, then you can make a newer version of that video for 2025. And then you know that it's searchable, that it's relevant, because someone has already made a video from it and it's already gotten a lot of views. So that's validating your topic right there. And you'll just want to go in and tweak like certain words. Like you don't want it to be the exact same title as there. So if you knew that a video performed well and it was created like 7 years ago and the topic was how to manage your anxiety, you could do something like how to work through your anxiety, or how to master anxiety. So you would just change like 1 or 2 words, so it's not an exact repeat of what was created, but it's very similar. So that's pretty much how I built my YouTube channel. And yeah, right now we're at 30,000 subscribers on the channel, and I'm working towards, of course, everybody wants that coveted YouTube play button. So that's the next step for me on the channel. So if any of you aren't following me, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So if any of you aren't following me over on YouTube, I would appreciate it. So I'm batch recording some content now. So I'm going to record all of that content. Well, right now I'm scripting. So I script my videos and then I record the content. Then after I record it, then I'm going to send it over to my editor. And I'm the editor, one of the editors that I'm working with now, like he owes me a free video because he messed up one of my edits. So that's going to be good. When I send over the 6, I'll get a little discount because of a mistake that he made. I think it was like the turnaround time. He said it was going to be done by a particular time and it wasn't. So he was going to give me a discount on my edits this time around. So yeah, that's the plan. So as for me hitting my YouTube channel goals, so of course where I am now the goal was to hit 30,000. So I've accomplished that. Next goal is going to be like 40,000 subscribers. But to get from 30 to 40, I'm going to try to make different types of content. So right now I don't have any content on my YouTube channel centered around entrepreneurship and how to build a business. So I'm going to start making more of my digital product content like how I do here on TikTok. I was just kind of testing out the content just to see what people responded to, what did well, what types of questions were people asking. I was using TikTok to do my research to figure out what type of topics I should create for my YouTube channel. So whenever I create a video, whenever I create a video here, I'm seeing what type of content will perform well. And then based off of the response that I get, or people DMing me or asking me questions, then those videos will then be turned into a longer form video for YouTube. So that's you just got to find, when I say business is about solving problems, that's exactly what I mean. You just got to go find what the problems are. And most of the time people will, if you're doing a good job of creating content, people will tell you what their problems are. They'll start asking questions. And then once you answer those questions, then that gives you ideas for content. So I don't think that's something that people consider. I think we sometimes overthink how the process can work. You just have to, what I tell people is, once you decide you want to be a content creator and you want to come into the online space, you have to stop thinking about content as a consumer. So oftentimes when we're just kind of scrolling and looking through people's videos, we're just kind of consuming it as a consumer. But when you are becoming a content creator, you want to start looking at content differently. Like you want to look at, oh, she used this type of hook, or she used this type of strategy in her TikTok video, or she mentioned her call to action at the end, or she did a transition in the middle of her video, or she had it was silent and then music, silent then music. So you want to have a different eye once you become a content creator to see what's working. So that's one of the things that I do now. So the majority of videos that I save here on TikTok is either ideas of videos that I want to respond to, or a type of content that, like a technique that I want to try. So I don't even know if you all know this. Do you all know that there's a format to making a TikTok video? Let me know if you know that, and I'll share with you all what the format is. At least is one of them. One format that a lot of people use for making a TikTok video. Okay, so when you're making a TikTok video, you all know about a hook, right? So we all know, like, you put on, you use your, have you all heard that there's something, you know, that's your hook, or you come in and you know, yesterday that's the hook, you drawing the people in. Okay, so the thing that you also want to consider with your hook is there's something called an open and closed loop. So when you're making your video, start paying attention to if you notice an open and a closed loop. So it's a little bit of sales psychology that goes into this. So when you, the way that our minds work as human beings, we're always looking for the end of whatever it is that we're looking at. So if something feels unfinished, or we're watching someone do something, we tend to want to watch to the end to know how it ended, because our brain operates on a feedback loop. So we'll continue to watch something until we feel like that loop is closed and we're satisfied. So when you're doing your content, how you want to start it is you want to open a loop, then you want to close it, and then you want to open it back up, and then you want to close it again. So the way that I want you to look at people's content now is notice the open loop. So that's when they pose a question, or when they say something like, here are 5 things, here's are 4 things that you need to consider if you want to start making more money in your social work career. So now you're curious, like, what are these 4 ways? I've opened that loop. What are those 4 ways that you're talking about how I can make money in my social work career? So then I start going through saying what the 4 things are, but then I'll say, this third one is something that if you don't do this one, then you can leave a lot of money on the table. So then they're saying, like, what's the third one? So you open the loop back up, and then once you finish, you finally close the loop, and then people feel like, okay, the circle is complete, and now I've gotten all the information from that video. So when you notice people posing a question, or if you notice people saying, have you ever considered, or have you thought about, or you know something that I noticed, they're opening up that loop. So the loop is like being inquisitive, or have you noticed, or do you know something that a lot of people struggle with? Whenever you're having people be inquisitive, like, do you know how much money you're leaving on the table if you XYZ? Or do you know how much it costs for you to whatever XYZ? Or how this makeup looks like a filter if you use it this way. So they're opening the loop, closing the loop, opening the loop, closing the loop. And you can do that just like one time within your video, or you can open and close the loop multiple times. So that's one strategy that a lot of TikTokers use. And when you're making any type of content, so just kind of pay attention to that. If you know that you want to make content, pay attention to how people are structuring their videos, like making that inquisitiveness, or that having you question or ask, what are you talking about? Well, what is the thing, or how is it going to work? Notice how people do that at the beginning of the video. Now, everybody doesn't make content like that. Like, sometimes people use storytelling as a process or strategy. I do have a storytelling framework. I can't remember exactly all the steps, but even when people use storytelling, it still follows like this flow of how you tell the story. I do have it somewhere, but I don't remember what all the stages of storytelling are. But I know it's like the hook, the arc, like you resolve, it's like a conflict, you resolve the conflict. It's like 4 or 5 different parts, but yeah. So those are just a couple techniques that content creators use. So it's literally not about just posting the content. So when you hear people say, just post the content, just post the content, it's not always just that. People who really are intentional and strategic about how they create content, at least people who don't just have like a one-off video that does well, like people who have videos who continuously do well, you'll notice that oftentimes those videos follow a pattern. So if you know that you're serious about making content, just watch the pattern. Like, don't watch it like, ooh, that color is pretty, or what shade is that? Like, try not to watch videos like that. If you know that you are serious about making content, just watch how they deliver the content. Watch, I know you all know when people are super close to the camera, like that's to draw you in. And then after that, watch how they tell the story, watch how they segue from this story to the next part of the story, like how they reel you in and keep you listening long term. Another strategy that you want to pay attention to is like that comparison or conflict. Like they'll create the idea that they know something that you don't know, or that you're doing something in a way that's wrong, or you don't have the whole process and then you need to do it this way. So that's another way that people will create content. It's like, I have this knowledge, or I have this secret that you don't know, and you need to keep listening so you can have the same result that I have, or so the thing that I know can work for you just like it worked for me. So that's another way that people keep you in that loop, listening to their content longer, is by creating this contrast to make you think. But it's still that psychology, like you still have to close that loop and understand, like, well, what is it that you know that I don't know? Or how am I using it wrong? Or why am I not getting the same result that you're getting? So then it's gonna keep you watching longer. I can share one more if you all want me to share. It's simple, but I can share another one that kind of keeps people more engaged in your content, if you all want me to. Okay, so this one is super simple. This is one that I use, but numbering things within your content. So if you, like I said, the 4 things that you need to keep in mind, that's a strategy to keep people watching for longer. So when you mention about 4 things that you need to do, or 5 things that you need to consider, intentionally having those 4 things, or saying 5 things or 3 things, that in and of itself is a strategy. And the mindset about the strategy is, again, closing that loop. Like, nobody's gonna want, if you have 4 steps, nobody's gonna want to leave at step 2. Like, they're gonna want to stay to the end to hear what all the steps are, especially if it's something that they're interested in. Or if you have what was that video I was watching a video about creating content, and the lady said, these are the 4 steps that you need to do to remove this particular thing off of your profile, and you need to follow it in this exact order. So when she said you need to follow it in this exact order, then that meant that you had to watch the entire video, because you couldn't miss a step, because you had to follow it in this exact order. So if you skip from step 1 to step 3, then she created this idea that I'm going to miss out and not get this end result if I don't listen from step 1 to step 4. So when you use numbers, that's another way to keep people watching your videos longer. And that's what I use for my YouTube videos. So if you notice on my YouTube videos, I'm always like 4 things, 5 things, 6 things, 7 things. So I make all my videos like that, but it's because of that. That marketing technique is giving people numbers, helps with the retention and with them watching for longer. So yeah, I hope you guys found that helpful. So that's just a couple strategies that we use within the marketing space to help with our retention, our views. If anyone has any questions, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone have any questions about making content, offers, digital products? I'll probably hop off at about 10 o'clock so I can answer a couple questions if anyone has any. I can answer questions about creating content, batching content, maybe why some content pieces perform and why some don't. Any questions? I can answer those for you guys. You mentioned using a script. How do you use it when you record? Let me see. So I have an iPad. So I use ChatGPT, of course. So I'll tell Chat what my idea is for my YouTube video based off of my keyword research, and I'll give it the title, and then I'll say, Chat, this is the video idea. Or I have Chat come up with my video ideas too sometimes, and I'll say, Chat, I need a keyword rich script for this video that's going to create high engagement and that's going to perform well on YouTube. So I'll have Chat give me the script, And then from that, I'll tweak it. I'll make it sound like me. Then I'll say, then I need a call to action at the end of the video. So then I'll add the call to action for the video, and then I'll just record the section. So I have my iPad. I should probably upload like some videos of me recording and how much I mess up when I'm recording my videos. But I have my iPad in my lap, and then I'll look down. I memorize too. I guess I should probably mention that. So a part of my script, if I'm supposed to say anxiety is a fear-based response that keeps people stuck in a cycle of being too far back into the past or too far ahead into the future. So I'll look at my script, and then I'll say anxiety is a fear-based response that keep people thinking too far into the past, too far ahead into the future. Anxiety, and I'll say it multiple times, and then I'll come to the screen, and I'll just say, I don't know if you all know this or not, but anxiety is actually a fear-based response that keeps you thinking too far back into the future or too far ahead, or then I'll mess up and then I'll start over. Anxiety is a fear-based response that keeps you thinking too far back into the past or too far ahead into the future. Then I'll pause. I'll look at the next part of my script, and then I'll just keep going from there. So that's pretty much how I use the script. And then if I just want to freestyle a little bit and just kind of speak freely, I'll do that too. And I won't read exactly from the script, but that's typically how I do it. But I do practice memorizing it. I commit a lot to memory, and then I'll just say the words multiple times. So it's like in my head, and then I'll say it to the camera. What type of product do you recommend we create? For digital products, I always recommend starting with your niche. So if you have an area of expertise, I encourage social workers to start with what I call the lowest hanging fruit. So looking at what skill sets do you currently have? What things are you currently doing within your career? What types of questions are people asking you? Are they saying, hey, Simone, what is this process that you use, or what was this form you created, or how were you able to do X, Y, and Z? And I know that you said you used this technique, but how were you able to put that together? Or how were you able to do that? If you have anything where people are asking you to solve a problem, I mentioned that as your low-hanging fruit offer. Or if you have some content that you've already made on social media and is performed really well, like that's how we made the ebook for one of my clients. He did a post on social media, didn't have a digital product, didn't have anything tied to it. He just did a post about Black exceptionalism and how we hold on to this idea of having to be overachievers and working just as hard to be twice as good. And it resonated with people, like 80 comments and shares. And then I was like, so what was your idea for a digital product? He said, well, I don't have an idea. I said, well, what's your highest performing piece of content? He said, well, I have a carousel that did really well. It was about the pressure that we put on ourselves in the corporate space to always show up and feel like we have to be twice as good to be seen, and people really liked it. I was like, okay, so that's the digital product. So we took that carousel post, and then we created some more carousels around it, and then we put it into ChatGPT, and it helped us come up with the sections for the ebook, and he sold it for $17, and he's made about $205 off of that ebook from the time we launched it. So in about 2 weeks, he made $205, which, I mean, to start, he hasn't even really, he didn't have an email list yet. He didn't have anything set up. This was just us building him out a funnel on his Stand store, and within 48 hours, he had his first sale. So I always recommend starting with what you know. That's why I always say you don't need a license to do this. You don't need your independent license. You don't have to stress yourself out about trying to pass this exam. Just start with what you know. Start with your expertise. If you have 5 or more years within a specific niche within the social work profession, you have the skill set to create a digital product. And you have the knowledge base to create a digital product. Any tips for creating a list of content ideas for your niche market? So do you mind sharing what your niche market is? So, okay, let me just make something up. So the thing is, I would just put that in the ChatGPT. You don't have to come up with the idea for creating a list of content. I would go to chat, or Gemini, whatever AI software that you use, and say, hi chat, I work with people who, what's a niche, first time moms. I work with first time moms who have a lot of anxiety around sending their child to school or to daycare. What is a list of content ideas that I can have for those moms that will help solve a problem, giving them a micro win in their lives? I will put that into ChatGPT, ask for 20 content ideas, 30 content ideas, however many, and then let chat do the work for you. Let's see. I work in child welfare, but I hate discussing anything pertaining to the field. Oh my gosh, I totally understand that. But I'm sure you haven't worked in child welfare your entire career. I worked in child welfare too. That was the worst job I had. But I mean, that was the only thing that I could get at the time. The thing about when I worked in child welfare, do you guys still have to make sure that foster parents, their home, do you have to still do the home studies and all of those things? I would probably try to target something that you did prior to child welfare or something else that you have an interest in. So I would just identify something where you already, I'm assuming that that's not the only place that you've worked in your career, that you've worked someplace where you enjoy the work, or you have a target population that you enjoy working with. New social workers who are working towards, new social workers who are working toward a clinical license. Okay, so let me go back to your question. So the question was, any tips for creating a list of content ideas? Okay, so that's what I would say. I would say, hey chat, I am working with new social workers who are working toward clinical licensure. Create me a list of 5 content ideas that will help give them a micro win as they're working toward passing their clinical license. Not home development department. Not home development department. Oh, okay. Let me go back to see what your question was. What type of products do you recommend we create? What is your interest? Like, who do you want to work with? Do you have a target population that you want to serve? Because it doesn't have to be a population that you're working with now. It could be a population where you've gotten a micro win for them, or where you've gotten a micro win for yourself. So that's another way that you can create content. So think about something in your own life where you overcame something. So maybe you were a new mom and you had issues with toileting, helping your child transition from diapers to pull-ups to using the potty, or being able to use the restroom on their own. You had success doing that as a mom. That's something that you can create a digital product around. Or if you had a very hard birth, like you're maybe of older age in your 30s or 40s, and it's a lot of anxiety around being a woman 35 plus and giving birth. So maybe if you're 39, 40, 41, 42, and you had a successful birth, you could create a digital product around how to prepare for a new birth in your 40s. I would buy something like that if I was preparing to be a mom and I was super nervous about giving birth and whether or not I was going to survive, or, what the odds of me making it out of the delivery room alive, like all of those things. I would definitely purchase something like that. So I would just say identify the target population that you want to work with, and then figure out what their challenges are. So going back to when I said business is all about solving problems. So Simone, when you're deciding on what digital product you want to create, let the market tell you what it needs. A lot of times the reason why your digital product doesn't sell is because you have an idea of something that you want to create, but the market hasn't said that I want that yet. So you want to go out and test the market, test your idea, and then see if it's something that people want. One of the ways it's going to let you know that people want it is if you see people already buying it. So go out into Google, social media, look to see what is that thing that you want to do, who is that target population that you want to serve, and then look to see who's already serving that audience. And then if you see that there's a market, like someone's already serving it, that doesn't mean that it's oversaturated. That means that it's an opportunity for you to get into and to be able to get a portion of that audience. So you're like segmenting off a portion of their audience, but then you might try to find something uniquely different to where you can provide value. So I would say do that. And then another thing that you guys probably overlook when you're identifying a target market is using Amazon. Do you all want me to how do you test it, the digital product idea? So once you and let me know if you all want me to tell you how to use Amazon to figure out what digital product that you can make. So how you test your digital product idea is after you've identified who your target market is and you've gone on social media, you've looked at people who serve this target market, and then you look to see who do they speak to, what is their messaging, what type of offers do they have, and then look at their engagement. Like, are people engaging with this? Are they asking questions with it? Are they asking questions about it? Then that can give you an indication. But you need to validate. This is what we're talking about. You need to validate your offer and answer the question, do people even want this? So one, when you see other people in the marketplace, that's going to help validate your offer. The other thing that's going to help validate your offer is what we just talked about before, YouTube. If you go into YouTube and you type in whatever your topic is that you want to do, and you see videos on YouTube where it has high engagement, high views, people are commenting, asking questions, then you can validate your idea that way. The other thing that you can do is when you start making your own content and testing out your content and people are responding to you. So I would probably go on YouTube, find a video, identify the title of that video, modify it a little bit or put it in ChatGPT, and then make content on TikTok and Instagram about that topic. And then see if people engage with it. Then once you get like a core of people following or commenting, then you could say, hey guys, I know you guys have been really engaging or liking the content. I've been thinking about putting a ebook together. I've been thinking about putting a course together. Do you all think that would be something that you would find helpful? Or if I were to put this course or idea together and I titled it XYZ, is that something that you would buy or something that you would purchase? So do you remember, Adriana, when I was inside the Discord group and then I said, which of these topics do you all think would be good if I was to create this course? Which one would you attend? That was me testing out and validating my idea. So I put that question in the Discord group and you all told me which idea that you like. I posted it as a poll on my YouTube video, on my YouTube channel, and asked what topic they like. I posted it in my Facebook group. And then I asked them which topic they like, and then I sent it out to my email list and asked them which topic they like. So I had multiple audiences that are still in my target market, and I put that poll out and asked them which topic did they like, and it was the same topic in every group that I tested. So that's one of the ways you could validate or test out your idea. Okay, let's see. Oh, so Amazon. Okay, so this is another way that you can validate and test out your idea, or you can get content ideas this way too. So go to Amazon. Well, identify your target market. You have to have a niche first. Let's say your niche is, let's see, the keto diet or staying in ketosis. So you go to Amazon and you type up a diet book about ketosis. You're going to get all of these books that are going to come up. So this is how you get content ideas. So once you see what the topics of these books are, you're going to go to one particular book, and then you're going to look at the table of contents for that book. The table of contents within that book is going to give you content ideas. So every title for every chapter is going to be a different content idea that you're going to then use to create content for yourself, because you want to find a book that's very popular. It has a lot of views, a lot of recommendations, and a lot of comments saying that the book is good, because you want to use a book that people resonate with and did really good on Amazon. So once you find that book, look at the chapters, and then that's going to help you identify what content that you're going to want to make. So when people make a book, they've already validated the idea for you. So you don't have to go through the process. Just look at the chapters within the book. Then the next thing you want to do is go to the reviews. So you all know how on Amazon it has the 4 stars and the 1 to 4 stars. I think it's 1 to 4. Go down to click on not the 4 stars, click on the 2 stars, the 3 stars, and the 1 star. Normally, when people review videos and they didn't really like the book that much, they're going to tell you in the comments why they didn't like the book. So they'll say that the book was too general, and I thought they were going to go in more detail about how to create my diet for ketosis, or it only mentioned 5 recipes for ketosis. I thought I was going to get 10. So once you go to those comments and you start looking at the feedback that people are giving on those videos, then you have ideas on, okay, so people need 10 recipes and not 6, or people are looking for something that goes into a little bit more depth about going into ketosis and not, something that's fluffy. So you take that feedback that you're noticing from those Amazon reviews, and then you make your content from that, or you make your digital product from that. So I would probably select 5, 6 books on Amazon and look at the reviews, write down the topics, look at the table of contents, write down those topics. That's going to give you ideas for content, and it's going to give you ideas on what your ideal clients want. So when you have your target audience, you're going to know what they want. You're going to know what that gap is, and then your content or your digital product is just going to come in and fill that gap. So we're not guessing here. We're not making stuff up. We're not creating things that we think people might want. We're using market research, we're using SEO, we're using tools that have analytics behind them, and we're making strategic decisions around what type of digital products that we're making and most likely to sell. I've been overthinking way too. Most of us do. Yeah, so remember when I told you all that I've spent a lot of money learning marketing strategies and techniques? Like, these are the things that I've paid money to learn. So these aren't things that you're typically going to find on Google. I mean, you'll have to search if you really want, but most of the time you won't. This is just from taking courses and trainings and mentorship and talking with digital marketers and being in communities that I've paid for and learning different strategies. Like, if you all want to succeed and go to the next phase in your career and whatever it is that you want to do, you have to invest in the knowledge. Like, you just have to, because people have access to information that is going to cut the time in half. Like, you don't have to spend as long trying to figure this out or get to the end result if you leverage someone else's knowledge and leverage someone else's expertise. And a lot of times we as social workers, we're like, oh, I'm just going to figure it out on my own. Like, why though? If I've already spent the money and the time and the investment getting the information around marketing and sales, why would you want to why wouldn't you want to cut that learning curve in half and get there quicker in a shorter amount of time, less time than it took me, when you can leverage my expertise and leverage my knowledge? So not just me, but anyone who you can learn from. So you definitely want to make investments into yourself if you want to hit the levels of success that you want to hit. Let's see. Can you recommend any marketing trainings? Absolutely. My Design Your Career mentorship program. So if you're a social worker, therapist, or helping professional, I do have a program, Design Your Career, which is a career to CEO pipeline, where all the things that I talked about now, you get access to all of what I just talked about inside of Design Your Career. We meet every single week. It's a 3-month mentorship program. That wasn't easy. Absolutely. Wasn't it though? It was. So, and you know, the crazy part is, I've been watching a lot of it. Well, let me back up. I've been watching a lot of videos about sales funnels, because I know that I can build a sales funnel that works and converts, because I've built all my funnels myself. And then I recently just started building funnels for my clients. But one of the things that I'm noticing is you can't speak to people based off of what you know. You got to speak to people based off where they are and what they need. Like, I'm learning that more and more, but because I'm in this world so much, like, I get so caught up in the jargon and the language and, you know, just talking about all the things that I sometimes just miss the fact that, you know, people need to hear this in a way that makes sense for where they are and what they're doing. So that's something that I've just kind of been learning as I've kind of decided to offer a service. Like, okay, people don't want to hear about how you build a funnel and how, you know, it needs to be on automation. Like, you got to bring it to a way that it makes sense for where they are and what they're wanting to accomplish. So yes, inside of my program, Design Your Career, it's a career to CEO pipeline. So it starts at the career phase. So if you're working in your 9-to-5, it gives you all the tools, all the things that you need to do to build your 9-to-5. So if you want to stay in your 9-to-5, it has a job search program in there, a program Ramp Up Your Resume. You'll get access to my resume templates. I'll meet with you one-on-one to go over your job search strategy, give you recommendations similar to what I just did now about building your online business and digital products. We'll do the same thing for your career. So if you know that you want to stay in the career phase, then for the 3 months of the mentorship program, your goal for that 12 weeks would be working towards your goal in the career phase. That could be to transition into a new role. It could be to ask for a promotion, or it could be to identify a more value aligned position. So that's one of the girls who I met with today. Her goal was to identify a more value aligned position because she's going to be moving from one state to another. So that's what she and I talked about today. So if you want to stay in the career phase, you can absolutely do that. If you know you want to transition into the scaffolding phase, which is what we were just talking about, where you have your 9-to-5, but then you want to start a business on the side, like with digital products or a consulting offer, then I help you take the knowledge that you have in the career phase and then show you how to create a digital product that you can sell using that knowledge with no extra degree, no certification, just using the knowledge that you have. So once you've created your digital product, I work with you until you get your first sale. So like I mentioned about my client, Aaron, he was able to get his digital product up and rolling and made his first sale in 48 hours. If you decide you just want to stay in the scaffolding phase and you work in your 9-to-5, just having a little extra money on the side, that's totally fine. Or you might decide, I want to transition into the social work CEO phase. So then I'll help you build out your digital product offer. We could do more funnels if that's what you have an interest in doing. Or if you want to start a consulting company, I have resources in there to help you be able to start your consulting company. So it's a true career to CEO pipeline. Does anyone have any questions about it? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'll probably be on here till about 10:15 to answer any other questions that you all have. But yes, this was definitely something that I wish that I would have had when I first hopped on the online space. Like, from what I had to do, I ended up having to piece a lot of things together, because the thing about the online marketing space is it's so much to learn. So when you hear me talk about a funnel, the funnel is just part of a sales process, meaning how do you take someone who found you on Instagram, didn't know who you were, but then buys into your email list, and then you get them on your email list and then they buy something from you. So that process that you take them through, that's a funnel. But then you also have to know the proper way to set up an offer. Like, how do you price it? How do you create the graphics for it? How do you determine if people need it? Like what we talked about today, how do you validate it? And then after you create your offer, then you have your sales page. Like, how do you write your sales page in a way that when people read it, they say, this is absolutely for me. This is what I need. I'm signing up. So then you have your sales page. And then after you create your sales page, then you have to have your checkout process. So what are all the ways that you're going to allow somebody to pay you for the service? And then you also have your email list. So then you might hear a lot of people talking about building out your email list. That's the way that you stay in communication with the people who purchase from you. So that's another part of you building out your online business. And then you have actually selling. Like, marketing is one thing. When you're on social media, creating your content, that's just you marketing, like just getting your message out in front of people, building what we call the know, like, and trust factor, helping people know who you are, how you can help them, letting people know how you solve problems. That's your marketing. But then after you market, your marketing then has to be able to convert to a sale. So that's another part of it. Like, it's so many parts. So I've brought courses on how to create an offer, how to sell, how to market, how to create a sales page, how to start building your email list. And these are like just different programs, because everybody's program focuses on something different in terms of helping you build your business. So this is just a combination of everything that I've learned, like just putting that all together. Like, also, it's not just about having a lead magnet. Oh, you got to have people on your email list. So it's not just about talking about your offer on social media. You got to have a call to action. Also, it's not just about having a checkout page. You have to be able to deliver that item or whatever it is that they say that they want. So all of those processes can be a lot, but when you have like a streamlined way of learning how to put all those things together, it makes it so much easier. Like, it would literally take years to learn all those things that I just mentioned. Or you can decide to join Design Your Career and then get access to me just helping you know how to build out the entire thing. Now, I will say, you definitely have to make a commitment. If you, like for me, how I mentioned before, I decided that I wanted to have an online business. My goal is to transition away from having so many clients within my private practice. I want to have a solely 100% online business. And I've already mapped out my goals on how that's going to happen for me. So right now, I'm just trying to see less and less clients, build my business online, trying to get more leads, more people in front of my offers so that I can have less clients that I see in private practice. So my goal again is to have a 100% online business that I've built. So with that in mind, when I'm creating these different offers and putting all of this together, I have to be able to think like, what types of things are going to resonate the most with people who need it, and then how can I build that out in a way that's going to be sustainable for me. So when I'm putting all of this together, it's not just for me, it's not just how can I help you develop a career where you only see micro, meso, and macro level social work. My goal was to be able to help you see not only can you do micro, meso, macro, but you can build an entire career that has no limits, that has no walls, where you're able to obtain financial freedom, where you don't have to work in a cubicle or in an office, or you can be remote, you can travel, you can literally design the career that you want. And I just wanted social workers to understand how much freedom and how much liberation comes with knowing how to create a business like that. And you don't even have to move away from your social work principles. Like, that's the other thing about it. If you wanted to have a business where you still serve Black women, or a business where you still serve students who struggle with ADHD, or if you wanted to work with corporate clients and offer trainings about wellness, or the importance of mental health, like, you don't have to move away from social work principles to still stay within the social work profession. And, I wanted to help social workers know that it's totally possible for you to build the career that you want, to design it in a way that feels true and authentic to your values. And it doesn't have to be within a micro, meso, or macro level social work role. So that was my goal. That's my mission. That's my purpose on what I do and why I do it. Hey, Joy, thanks for joining my live. I know we need to reconnect for the podcast. I still want to do the episode, so I'll have to reach back out to you so we can reschedule. So hopefully the offer is still available for me to be on the podcast, because I would really be interested in doing it. Okay, perfect. So if you all aren't following Joy, she works with the Six Figure Social Worker here on Instagram. So she has her own podcast where she works with social workers. She does a lot of empowerment. I think she's written 6 books. Is that true? I think it was 6 books, but she's a writer. She helps women on mindset and empowering them. So I'm supposed to be on the podcast, the Six Figure Social Work 5. Okay, so I'm supposed to be on the Six Figure Social Work podcast. And like I mentioned before, I did the Social Work Rants podcast today, so I'm excited about that. Then I have another podcast is with an organization called Berries. They do AI therapy notes for clinicians. So their podcast episode is supposed to be releasing soon. I think they said October, but I recorded that like 2 weeks ago. So, does anyone else have any questions? Oh, just know you all, if you all find these questions on a YouTube video, it's going right back to what I just told you guys about solving problems. So, if I helped you in any way, know that I'm so excited and so grateful to be able to be here to help you think about your career in a different way, to think about your skill sets in a different way, and to just be able to give you something that's accessible that you can access on your own time. It doesn't have to be, especially through YouTube, it could just be content that you just use to build while you're doing your daily life, like while you're trying to pass your licensing exam or building your private practice. So I want to make sure that you absolutely have some tools that are helpful and available for you, depending on where you are in your career. But some of the questions that you all asked, I'm so excited that I could be here to answer those questions. And I think if you all have those questions, it makes sense to make sure that everybody else has access to those same answers so that we're not stuck. Like, it's no need to be stuck in 2025 moving into 2026. Like, it's too much information out here to not know what to do next. So we just need to stop hoarding information, need to stop hoarding knowledge and making it seem like only one person can lead at a time or get ahead at a time. Like, it's enough room out here for all of us. So I don't mind sharing what I know without feeling like I'm operating in lack, because it's so much available. Okay, so I'll probably hop off at like 10:30. I'll answer any last questions. Oh, thanks, Joy. I appreciate that. Any questions? Oh, no, that's okay. You mentioned about, sorry about last time. That's okay. Oh, you did? Okay, I'll check my email and make sure that I received it. Any other questions that you all have about, did you all find this helpful? For those of you who are still here, I'm hoping it was of value to you. I know we talked about a lot, but I hope it was helpful. And the other thing that I will say before I finish, so I know when we get into the online space, our goal is to make more money. Like, that's ultimately the end goal. But one of the things you want to do is you want to sell by serving. And serving is another one of those foundational pieces of business. And it's another reason why we support a lot of our favorite brands, because we get good service. Like, I don't know if any of you eat Chick-fil-A, but I mean, you don't have to wait. Like, they come up to your car. It's convenient. I know it's not the best for you. It's not the healthiest, but we patronize businesses because of service. So one of the things that two things I want you to keep in mind when you're deciding that you want to build a business online, sell digital products, teach what you know, position yourself as an expert. One of the things that one of my online mentors told me when I first started, she said, you sell by listening. You sell by listening. You sell by listening. You sell by listening. So that means you're listening to what are people struggling with? What are those pain points that they have in their lives? What are the problems that they're looking to be solved? What is those things that are annoying them, agitating them? If they could solve this thing overnight, they absolutely would. So your job as someone who's selling a digital product or as a business owner is to position yourself as the solution to the problem, and you're helping them get access to a transformation. So how we talked about the mom who has difficulty with toileting her child, and she's struggling trying to figure out how to get him out of diapers because, she has a lot going on and, she needs him to make this transition. That's a pain point. That's a difficulty, a challenge that mom is having, that you then come along and say, well, my child was having the same problem and I did this and we were able to get him out of diapers in 2 months or in three weeks. So just think how thankful and grateful that mom would be if you were to come along and help her with something that she had been struggling with for weeks or for months. That's the value of what you do when you learn to sell in a way that's founded and rooted in service. So that's one thing. You want to serve first and then sell. So you're providing service to people, something of value, and then you want to be able to listen to the problem, listen to the thing that they're struggling with, and then be able to speak to how the thing that you offer can provide a transformation or a solution. So those are 2 foundational pieces that I want you to keep in mind. So that means you should be asking more questions than you are talking, asking people, what do they need? What do they want? Do you have anything that you're struggling with? How can I answer this question? Do you have questions about this process? Let me know if you want me to tell you how to do this part. So just listen to what people need. And oftentimes they'll tell you. They'll tell you what they're struggling with, and you just got to show up and deliver. Oh, what's the event? To our event in October. Okay, and where is it going to be? Oh, I can't wait to work with you either. Have a good night. It was a text. Oh, okay, I'll check my text message. Hopefully I didn't miss it. Okay, I'll check it. Oh, I hope to work with you soon. I hope you all decide if Design Your Career is a good fit for you. If you are in need of mentorship, I would love for you all to come into the program. Again, we meet every single week. You get access to ask questions. We'll be in community talking about our career goals, things that we're working on in your business, or if you're in the scaffolding phase. So, oh, perfect. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I can't wait to meet you. This is going to be good. Let's see. And I missed something. Hi, thanks for joining the live. I was probably about to hop off in probably 3 minutes. But I'll probably be back on live tomorrow. This was fun. I really enjoyed spending this time with you all, answering your questions about your digital products, about your businesses, about YouTube. I'm going to have to save this. So if you guys want to come back to it, maybe I'll put this inside of Design Your Career. Maybe I can download it. And then if you all have questions that you need to refer back to, or maybe I'll just take some of the questions that you asked and then try to put those into something that you all can use and get access to, because you asked some really great questions. So I really appreciate you all engaging with the live and answering questions about YouTube, your digital products, designing your career, all the things, the marketing, sales. This was really, really fun, really exciting. Any other questions before I wrap up? So again, my name is Monika. I'm a social work marketing mentor. I help social workers design careers that they love and monetize what they know. And that is through creating digital products, teaching what you know. You don't need additional licensure, don't need additional certification, don't need a doctorate degree, don't need to be independently licensed. We leverage the knowledge that you have and then use that to help you create a digital product offer. And then if you're in your social work career, I help you with identifying your niche for your career so that when you're ready to create your digital product, you have an area of expertise that you can speak to and create your digital product. Or if you need help with your resume or your job search strategy. So I have I have a career to CEO pipeline through my mentorship program. So helping you from your career to moving into creating something on the side of your 9-to-5 and then eventually moving into entrepreneurship. So that's what we've been talking about today is the Design Your Career program. questions about YouTube strategy, TikTok, how to have your reels perform better, formats and strategies for TikTok. So we covered a lot of different things. So I'm going to definitely make sure I save this. Any questions? Okay, if it's no questions, then I'm probably going to log off. I'll be back on tomorrow. So I hope you all have a great rest of your night. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you all so much for coming into the live.